How you doing, my friend? Drew Canole. Remember, we're in this together. I'm down here in my office in Sedona, and I'm just absorbing this energy here of the salt. And I wanted to shoot this video for you. This is totally impromptu, but I'm sitting here with my buddy Craig, and he said, how do you dissolve the separation that exists between two individuals in regards to hierarchies, in regards to structures of power, in regards to feeling less than in certain environments? Oftentimes as you go throughout your day, you have somebody that you meet that has more seniority or more hierarchy of power than you. So in your mind, you lessen yourself. You lessen yourself and you give away your personal power. And giving away your personal power looks like agreeing to things that you normally wouldn't agree on, saying things that you normally wouldn't say to appease another human or another individual, right? And it's living in this fictitious reality. It's living into the byproduct of the real you, and it's your false self. It's your identity, it's your ego. Your ego wants to keep you safe. So by putting people on a pedestal, in some ways you become safe. You don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. Good God, you don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers. You don't want to upset anybody. Because upsetting a person means that you're cut off from tribe in the egoic mind. And if you're cut off from tribe back in the day, it meant death. So you don't want to die. And sometimes when you say things, you feel like you're dying inside. It's a good thing. We want to die inside. We want that identity, we want that id, that ego to die every single day. We want to be at the outskirts of the edge, in the unknown, waiting to level up as a human being, raising our vibration, raising our consciousness so that the collective consciousness can and will raise to where it's supposed to be. So what I'm saying in this message to you is there is no separation. You've been dealt a false hand since incarnating into this birth plane, and that is that you are separate, that you are not one entity, that you are not collectively attached to the other humans on this planet, that there's boundaries, that there's borders, that there's different flags, that there's different religions, that there's different isms. And all these differences make you separate. Separation is the illusion. Separation is the lie. Separation is you being separate from your real self. And they don't want you to know that your real self is the all-powerful. It's light. It's everything that you've ever wanted to be. It's all-knowing. It's all information. But to get to that place, you have to lose yourself. And it's really freaking uncomfortable. There's ego death upon ego death. There's shamanic death. There's so many things that you have to let go of. The emotions. You gotta let go of those. If you're holding on to the emotions of feeling what it feels like to be loved, and that's all you're worried about is getting those endorphins, the dopamine, the serotonin, the oxytocin of being loved, how are you ever gonna know divine love? How are you ever gonna know unconditional love that's from spirit, that's not of this world? If you're attached to other humans, right? In the way of separation. Now, when we dissolve separation by really practicing stillness, when we really get in, instead of focusing our external light out of our eyes, and we flip our eyes around, which is the eye of God, right? And we start to see within, and we start to create those crystalline structures of that etheric field that's within us, then we can really start to see what that unconditional love looks like. But when all that noise, when all that chaos of the outside world and looking good conversations come up, and all these things that I must do, a human doing, I must do this to prove myself. Is my self-worth great enough? Well, likes, dislikes, likes weren't where they were yesterday. I must be a failure, and all these things. But inside of you, beckoning, is the ability to return home. It's the ability to remember a time when you were one with everything, with all life forms, with every single human being on this planet, with every single living entity. And that's your birthplace, that's your home. And when you return home, separation dissolves. And the more people we get to return home, my friend, the better this earth is gonna be. The shift in timeline is gonna be so significant that you're gonna look back at the errors and the erroneous thinking and the mesmerism and the hypnotism that we're dealing with on the daily. You're gonna laugh at it. Look at us. We were so crazy back then. We were so attached to the identity, the false illusion, and now we're waking up. So when it comes to hierarchy, when it comes to business, dissolve the separation. Before you go into any meeting where you feel that, where your ego's like, hey, you need to respect the authority. You need to listen up to this person. I want you to go within, and I want you to remember who you are. I want you to recollect your personal power, because somewhere along the way you left it at the door. And you can't be effective in business if you're unwilling to say to leadership what they really need to hear to turn the boat around. Because there's far too many pawns on the chessboard. We need knights, we need rooks, we need queens and kings. We need an elevated level of consciousness now more than ever. And we need you. So it's time to level up, my friend. It's time to let go of the past. It's time to get rid of all that limited mindset thinking people are beyond you. Are you serious? Do you know what rests inside of you? The greatest atomic force in the universe, the same stardust that has created the whole entire universe is in you, and you're gonna show up like that? Oh, how dare you disrespect your divine inheritance. And it's here for you right now, and it's just beckoning, it's just calling you. Wake up, remember, wake up. And that's it. Much love. Remember, we're in this together, and I'll see you soon.